nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.
Thank you, both of you, for your time. This is such an epic film. It's steeped with so much history that predates it, but now we get to know the origins of some of these amazing people. Beginning with you, Michela. Michela, the Giuseppina's relationship to the other characters is very complicated. She's very smart, but a lot of that has to be hidden for her in order to survive. When you first read about her, what impressed you the most?
Yeah, I thought when I read the script, I thought I don't know why, but I thought she has a big heart. She's so sweet, but she's also smart. And the thing is, I believe that she just falls in love. And when when you have feelings like that, you got confused. You just do mistakes sometimes. And I think there's no space for that in that world.
Not at all. Right. In an era where previous films, movies, depictions, there's a lot of romanticizing of what this era is like. But with Many Saints of Newark, it's very gritty. That romance is dialed back, and we're seeing some very crucial moments. For you, is it stepping into that for Hollywood, Dick? Is it more satisfying as a performer to stick to the grit? Do you like the romance of that era? What appealed to you most about this film?
The reality of it. I mean, some people might call some of it romantic, or other times, it's people just like eating dinner and laughing. I tend to like something that's more on the real side. Yeah, and that's what this is, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Michela, the film obviously is a prequel for The Sopranos, a rich TV history. Lots of fans, lots of people are excited to see these pre-stories. Are you a person that pays attention to fandom, and what do you expect for the onslaught of people who are excited to see
No,
this?
I'm not, I don't think I'm that kind of person. I'm pretty scared about that because it's something new to me, for me. Um, I don't know, because the thing is I'm Italian, so the Sopranos, to me, they're not the same as for an American guy. So I'm discovering now the importance of this now that the movie is going to comes out. So we'll see.
And lastly, Ray, a lot of people are excited also to see this. What are you most excited about when the film finally premieres?
For this movie, you just want, hopefully people will be entertained by it. You look forward to and hoping that people enjoy putting together what we put together. There's so much that goes into making a movie, and the doing it, the post, there's a lot of moving parts to it. And you just hope that people were moved by the story as much as we are.
Absolutely. Well, I thank you both for your time. Fabulous movie. Super excited to talk about it with people. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, gentlemen. Thank you for your time. This is such an epic project. So many people, including myself, are looking forward to it. Beginning with you, Alessandro, when we look at Dickie Moltisanti, obviously he and his nephew had quite a bond. What do you think is the biggest gift he gave him? If you want to call it a gift, what was the greatest thing he gave to him?
To Tony? Well, love. I mean, ironically, although he's a totally like hopeless and flailing surrogate father, he is the only person in Tony's life who really cares about him and takes an interest in him. And from an early age, I think he was the guy who, wanted to spend time with him and, wanted to hear what was going on in his life, and wanted to give him the opportunity to flourish in ways outside of the mob life, but just didn't really have the parental skills and was too much of a wreck himself to prove to be a good role model or father for him. And that's the tragedy of the story, really.
All young minds are shaped by their environments. Michael Tony is no exception. But with him, there was always such a grit to him, even at a young age. Was that man always living inside of him, or was it egged on even more so by what was happening around him?
No, I think that the tragedy of the sort of film is that he was this kind of sweet and sensitive and curious kid with all this potential, this leadership potential, and all this greatness in him that you can sort of go down to become, I don't know, a hero in a community, someone who can bring people together. But instead, because of the violence that he receives from his father, the abandonment, emotional abandonment he gets from, in some way, Dickie abandoning him, and, sort of the mental illness with his mother and all the pressure, he gets hardened by his surroundings and he starts to feel powerless. So he starts to want to get power back, and he gets power by violence. He gets powered by manipulation, which he learns from his mother. He begins to become, he conditioned that you're not allowed to cry, you're not allowed to feel sad, but you are allowed to feel anger. So he starts to overcompensate by hurting people. And I think that that's one of the tragedies is, maybe if Dickie could have stuck around a little more, or maybe if his dad wasn't MIA 24/7, that he could have gone a different path and been a hopeful and maybe somewhat of a better man.
And Leslie, not only is this a period of time where the Black community is undergoing their own changes, and I like what you just said, Michael, about heroes in the community. Where do you think Harold lies in that? Because sometimes we needed those figures during that era to help with different things in the Black community that we weren't getting, like everybody else. What would you say is Harold's greatest impact during this period, his relationship with the family versus his relationship with his own community?
Well, I've heard the old timers were sort of, every story that I've heard about, kind of pre-1975 America was that, there were some years in there that we really, there was a thriving Black press, and there was, kind of the impossible nature of segregation and the Jim Crow South and oppression, made it so that we had to create our own, social settings and our own, we had to support Black businesses, and, there was just a amount of self-sufficiency that we had to have amongst ourselves. And I definitely think Harold brings that same spirit. He brings it from the South to the North. And, I think there's some flawed thinking there. There's some poor choices that he's going to live out. But there's some poor choices being made in relationship to the fact that there are so few choices to be made. So the movie deals with all that complication.
Well, I thank you, gentlemen. You all were fantastic. I was happy to see this story as a longtime Sopranos fan. Thank you so much for all of your time.
Nice to talk to you. Take care.
Thank you, Alan, for your time. This is so epic, so incredible, this film. I love origin stories, and to see the beginnings of the Soprano is especially a treat. As popular and as historical as a film, as a series was like that, when you get to tackling the origin story, where do you begin?
Oh, well, it's funny. I studied history for a long time before before I decided to make movies, and so I do two things. I put a lot of work into the researching the world. We did a tremendous amount of work looking at Newark and what the reality of it was back then, trying to get it right. And then I have to sort of write a little English paper for myself about what the story is and what the story is about. And I had to sort of get a firm handle on, you know, our movie is grounded in the TV show, but it's not a TV show, and it's grounded in this gangsterism of the present, but we're going into the past. So I had to sort of think hard about what the real heart of Sopranos was and how we were going to bring that across. And to me, it's the questions it raises. It's you know, why is there a beast in me? What can I do about it? Is my destiny, you know, locked, or can I change who I am? Can I rewrite who I am? Because every character in our movie, not just Dickie, the main character, but every character is trying to change their story and trying to rewrite who they are. And there's a wonderful American faith that you can do that, but there's also a tragic reality that it's damn hard to do, and it often doesn't work. And so that sort of was how I got my head around the movie, which is many stories sort of woven together, but they're all really about that one thing. And which is why the character played by Leslie Odom Jr. is crucial, because of all the people who are trying to do this, there's really only one character in the movie who rises and who manages to change his story. Because Dickie's trying to, it doesn't work out well. Giuseppina, the immigrant coming to the new country, is trying to, does not work out well. And Tony, we sort of know where he's going. So in a way, his destiny is set. But the Harold story was critical, because that's the one case of somebody saying, I'm gonna reinvent myself.
All of these characters are so rich. I mean, each of these characters could easily have their own prequel films with ease.
Yeah.
I must ask, in this era where people love extended cuts of films, what is the original? How long was the original cut of this film? So when people start the campaign, I can get the horse's mouth.
Yeah, lead the way. I never saw the Snyder cut, but I just loved the idea. I think that guy was amazing for getting that done. It's not like there was an extended version of the movie and then we whittled it down to this. There were different versions of the movie, but there's certainly a longer version that I've got in my head that I wish I could have shared with the world. Yeah, if I have to study the Snyder playbook and see how he pulled that off, because it would be amazing to share that. Because you know, when you make a movie like this, you lose some scenes get cut that seem so beautiful and crucial to the piece, and there's a version in my head that's got some of those things back, and yeah, I'd love to do it.
It all begins with the tweet. Release the Taylor cut. I'm going to start it. Thank you so much for your time. Amazing film. Very, very well done. And I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.